Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu-Sweeties.
She's back! We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which is in, there, out, where, who knows, I don't know, but we're back, and God bless, and thank you so much. Today, talking about 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, Season 8, Episode 12. They'll be sweet, they'll be salty, you know how it is. Thank you so much. Yeah, so you had fun over the weekend having
Yes. So we
the
did a
great collab.
collab with Married to Reality for HEA last week's Happily Ever After, and that was fun. And we I did one on their channel, Happily Ever After, and then they also joined me to talk about episode 2 of Ashley Madison, the docuseries. So if you guys are at all interested in that content, it is available wherever you listen to podcasts. So please go check it out. And for those of you guys who love docuseries, go and show our folks over there at Married to Reality some love, some love. But Chris is back, so here we go. It's because you
Cute.
did this.
I know. I'm very cute. Okay, so who do you want to start with?
I'm gonna let you choose.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to start with Patrick and Thais.
Ooh.
So in their B song that like takes you into their segment, they had a weird summer song, and I swear it sounded like they said the F word, but I don't know. Like I kept going back, but basically John wakes up and it's a lot of like Thais pouting because he, I guess, ate that cake. And I mean, then they had a flashback of him eating the cake, thinking that it's absolutely beyond tasty, because we know these Brazilian cakes are like, birthday cakes are to die for, you know, like I don't know what they're doing. It's magic. It's crack in there. Like they love it. But what is disgusting is that she's like, there are so many plates. Like you ate all my cake. Like at least wash a plate. And he's like, yeah, I'll wash a plate, but I don't really need to, because I didn't use one. I didn't use any silverware either. I went in with my hands. And we see him just palming cake. I mean, just like bear clawing, bear pawing, just like cake is so wet and smushy. It's obviously not a finger food. Like it's like spaghetti. Would you just raw eat spaghetti? Like the same consistency to me. Go on.
Oh, the same consistency as spaghetti.
No, but it's wet. You know, like it's so much frosting, and obviously we know the Brazilian cakes are not dry.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously is an animal. Like we know that. We know that he's animal, but he is right in this episode. He really does like everybody needs a Johnny in your corner, you know, because the Johnnies will say the things that need to be said. So with this episode, after we get over Cake Gate, they get into the car and they let John sit in the back seat with Alessi. Like they're like, so as much as she's like, oh no, don't pain in my ass. Like when she got an opportunity to let him babysit for 2 hours in the back seat, he sure did. So she gets in a tan onesie, and Patrick gets in with his like robo leg, and they drive 2 hours to the ranch to look at the ranch in which they want to have Alessi's birthday. And John already knows that Jose is about to be up to that bullshit and probably going to ask Patrick to either A, do some shit or pay for some shit. And so we do have like a little side note where John and Thais have another thing in common, in which they have peed on the side of the road numerous times, to where she is very comfortable doing so. And then she actually pee-pees on her foot and she thinks it's so hilarious. Meanwhile, me, I'm like, can't.
Gross.
I'd be upset.
I'd be upset. I know, but she, you know what? She's laughing through it. I mean, I have hardly ever seen so much joy as her like peeing on her own foot. You know, God bless. You know, so they get there, and then you know it's an awkward meeting between John and his stepdad, whatever, ex-stepdad. You know?
Yeah, I think it's a thing when adults who were adulting whilst another adult in front of them was a child, when they see that person again as an adult, there's always a moment of like, hey, oh my God, John. And John's like, yeah, motherfucker, you have fond memories. I don't. So John's like, it's so funny because it happens to me. It happens to like a lot of us adults when we haven't seen like a family member for a long time, and our last memory of that family member is like an asshole. But they don't they don't have their last memory of me is me being like a little kid that's like or crying most of the time. Like I cried a lot as a kid, but I'm always like, no, we're not friends. This conversation is picking right back up from the last time I saw you. And that's exactly what I think John was going through, and I was here for it.
Yeah, I mean, he said a bunch of like interesting specifics, like he would just buy you like a scooter and then like sell it 3 months later, like that's fucked up,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And
He's a scammer.
he's a scammer. And so basically him and obviously Thais are like, why do we have to have this birthday there? And is he going to ask you to do things? And immediately upon saying hello within 10 minutes, and like John says he does, he's like, oh, okay, well, we have to get some new rocks here and we have to redo this and we have to paint this and we have to plant these whatever and we have to take off these trees. And they're like, why do we have to do all this? And he's like, well, I have to get something from it. Like, what am I going to get? And he's like, it's your granddaughter.
Yeah.
Your granddaughter's having a birthday in your own fucking country.
Yeah.
And you're not shit. Like, honestly, John does say the thing that like hurts my soul, which is like, why do people expect you to do shit when they didn't do shit for you growing up? Like, and it is like really hard to say. And because he really does, he's like, well, he's my son. Who, if it's not him, who else?
Yeah. And Patrick is like, yeah, it's my dad. And John and Thais are looking at Patrick like, what? Like, yeah, Patrick is so desperate for the dad's love and attention that he is willing to do whatever to help. And it's like sad because that's going to run Patrick into the ground. And then Thais is like, well, why do we have to pay for all of this? And he's like, well, whatever. And John's like, well, how do you live? Well, yeah, I live off the apartment. But then why is he making home improvements to the apartment then if you use that money to live off of it? He's like, yeah, I have properties, but I don't have any money. And everyone's looking left and looking right, and it's like, how come?
Yeah, like, well, I mean, like, usually if you have properties, that means that you earn income, like either through commercial or residential real estate, which people pay you rent for, like, and yes, you have to maintain the properties, but I mean, that's basic math business,
Oh yeah, math business. That's important. So there's like this awkward time, and Patrick is defending his father, and both Thais and John are just like, we don't get it. And so that's the end of their segment.
Yeah, did you see John holding Elise with like I love when you hold a baby like a sack of potatoes,
Yeah, I love that too.
Yeah, that's the best time. It's just like sack of potato baby. Okay, let's move on. Let's get through Rob and Sophie.
Okay, so we've got them with their like whatever song that is their intro. That's always some interesting like fake music that they give us in order to get the intros. Oh, speaking of fake music, did you see Jabri? He did a rap song to Miona over this like week.
No.
Oh, okay, I'll send it to you. Anyways, it's not half bad.
Okay. Did you hear that Kara and that one hot guy that was really young? That she had a baby? Yeah.
They broke up?
Out? No. She has a song out?
Oh no. Okay. I was about to be so upset that they broke up.
No.
But anyways, so he his friend is in town and he's like, I don't like Austin anymore. That same friend. Now this friend has been like negative towards Sophie from the very beginning, and now he's like, do you think she's using you for the green card? And I'm like, Brits can come here. Brits can come here. They don't need to use you for the green card. Now, she does because she doesn't have a working visa, but she has a tourist visa, and I'm pretty sure their tourist visa is like 3 months. So it's not like she couldn't just go home for 2 weeks and come back. She does not actually need Rob in order to be in the United States. Well, so
couldn't she marry Kate now?
Oh, I don't know. Is Kate
bisexual?
Bye. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, people will do whatever now, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. So yeah, Tori like never trusted her. Also is like weirded out that they don't have sex, which we all are, like Tori is like, you don't have sex? Like, like you guys aren't getting it on? And they're like, no. So he thinks that's fucked up. And then again, the long scam for the green card, but then they just like go and have a moment with Kate, her, and Claire, just girl time. Now, this is obviously filmed before all the shenanigans that we know that went down with her and her mom, slash Claire, who is unfortunately so unstable that watching her now in these scenes is not fun. Like, like you're just like, and everything is sort of has a tone to it that's like, what's the word? Melancholy.
Yeah, I just was like, ma'am, you need to be sitting on a rocking chair. She doesn't look safe sitting on the ground. And right when they were pouring the alcohol, she's like, oh, they didn't make drinks like this when I was a drunk. It was so, I was like, oh, Claire, you can't have a beverage. So it's really, I think, destructive of Sophie to be drinking in front of her mother.
I
like,
agree.
like you should not be drinking in front of this lady if she can't look at a drink without being like, oh, didn't. I'm like, lady, did you even drink? Like, I feel like she's somebody who just like drank straight up whatever it was. Like, there was no chaser. Anywho.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely Claire. I don't know what Claire did, but it seems like more than drinking. And then it also,
Oh yeah.
she can't be tempted. She can't be around that, and I wouldn't want her to be around it. And Kate doesn't seem that on the straight and narrow either. I mean, Sophie just is a magnet for like, just not the greatest people. So I get it. So, meanwhile, they Rob is. It's like Sophie isn't. Sophie's just incredibly immature and incredibly damaged, incredibly trauma seeking, and just wants Rob to love her all the time. Like every one of these things is her be like, I just want you to tell me that I'm pretty. I just want you to love me. I just want to be like your wife. I just want to be like, know that you love me. And like that's like her thing. And like it manifests with like small ways in which she feels like Rob is disappointed in her or disagrees or with her. You know what I'm saying? Like the uniform, like the like the costume. He was like just basically like this isn't really a sexy costume, and she took it as I don't look hot in it.
I mean, I don't know what she's thinking. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't understand. A lot of times when women are insecure about things, I don't understand where it comes from. I understand where it comes from, but I also like am very decisive with my decision making. So it's like I don't understand why you wallow in it. That's what I don't understand. So it's like she's like, Rob's not giving me what I want. He's not making me feel loved. Then get the fuck out of it. Like there's two roads. He's not making you feel loved, so leave. He makes you feel masculine or not as masculine as he wants you to be because he's looking at other women, so leave. Like so it's like whenever there's so much of like, well, he's not being what I want him to be, and then his like Claire's like, Sophie, you're upset, and she's like, I'm not upset. She's like, yes, you are, and she's like, okay, I'm not, but I just want this, this, and this. But Rob is not giving you this, this, and this. So why drag it out? And why try to make it so that if it ends because of him? That's another thing they both don't want to do. They both don't want to be the reason the relationship fails. So they're sticking with it and blaming each other for small things. And then he's going to say, oh, well, I wanted to break up because you didn't live here. And then she can be like, well, I didn't want to live there because you made me uncomfortable, Rob. And so it's just like this weird back and forth. And I'm like, I don't understand why you're fighting for this. I don't understand why a lot of couples fight for it. If it's not working, it's not working. So just move on. Like it's sad. You're gonna be sad about it. I get it, but like move on. So she's like, you gotta, if you're gonna do anything, so if you gotta learn from your mom's mistakes. And I'm like, there's so many mistakes for her to learn from you. It's just like overwhelming.
Yeah. And she saw those mistakes in real time, I think. So she's been learning from them, but unfortunately it's a lot of damage she has to overcome. And here she is at a young age with two random people,
Jesus.
Kate and Rob, just like,
yeah.
And who knows what else. That guy was cute, Caleb, like he seemed chill, like I bet they had a lot of fun together. Anyway, so let's move on to Gino and Jasmine. So they go
down south.
Down south, down south. Yeah. So before that, we'll talk. Yeah. So basically they go to a restaurant to pick up food and she won't talk to him. She will not talk to him. She has like her lips lip sync. You know, she's just like,
Black coffee, please.
yeah, first of all, I just love the idea of like this place called Rose where you like pick up food and he's like, "Oh, well, I get the food. Can I get you a drink?" Like, "Oh, okay. Well, God bless." He's like, I'm surprised he was like I think he asked for a lemonade, right?
Yeah,
God,
lemonade.
he's such a fucking baby
Baby
beta.
boy. Yeah,
I know,
it's
just
like a
like the smoothie. I want a strawberry banana smoothie. You know.
Give me a lemonade, please.
Yeah, I mean, she's just like black coffee.
Yeah, what an adult
She
drink.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I cannot ever drink black coffee at all. Like I can't do it. It's the most bitter ever. Like you know me, I'm sweet. Like my grandmother used to make me coffee and it basically was like cream and sugar with a dollop of
Of
coffee in it. I'd
coffee.
be like, and I'd be like, you know, like I even now, like I have a little shot of Nespresso, but I basically have like my Khalifa almond. This is not sponsored. My Khalifa Farms almond milk or either oat milk, and it's like a hazelnut creamer, and it's just so good in my coffee. I love it so much. It pulls me out of bed. It pulls me out of slumber, and I'm just like, I don't want to get. Oh, I get to have my coffee. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what happens. I love it
But
so
is it
much.
sweet? Is it sweet? Why
It
can't you
is
get
sweet.
it?
It is sweet.
Oh,
It is
I
sweet.
always thought that you were drinking it hardcore. Because like to me, whenever I put creamer in something, it's never enough creamer. So I really thought you were hardcore. I
No, I'm
thought you
not.
were just okay.
Oh, never. No, I'm not. Oh,
Okay. I
I'm a.
thought once I thought once I got you an unsweetened oat milk latte, and I was like, oh, she's hardcore.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's because oat milk does have, you know what, with an, I will do no sugar or sugar sometimes an oat milk latte because the milk, at least, the oat milk has some sugar in it. Like I feel like it's sweet a little bit.
Oh, not at all for me. That's what I'm saying. Like you're like pretty
Mm,
hardcore.
oh, but it's
Um,
not black coffee, you know, but basically, yeah. And then he's just like, so Jasmine, we're going to go to my family's reunion and I don't want you to be like this pouty bitch, you
Shut
know.
up, Gino. I will do what I want to do because you have control over everything. You're not going to tell me how I'm going to feel in front of your family.
Is this is how you're gonna be, Jasmine? I don't want to pay the $1,200 for your beauty pageant.
It's not $1,200, you stupid idiot. It's 400.
Oh Jesus. Um. Yeah. Like I think you owe me a. He's like basically. She says that he's an American. Yeah. Wait. Say the American hero line. That's so funny.
It's like Gino wants me to make an altar for him and light candles for him being in this American hero, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick
Yeah.
of it. To travel to a third world country to save me, fuck him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
fine in my beautiful country. Okay, with perfect weather. It's better than
Yes.
Michigan.
Yeah.
With I was a teacher. I had my career. I had my life and my mother. Like no,
Yeah. So that first of all, in what world, if you knew that this person hated you, why are they going to this family reunion? Wouldn't you be like, I think you could stay home? If I was with someone who just it wasn't working out and I had to go see my family, I would either be like, yeah, we have to stay home, or I'd be like, you're staying home and I'm going to go see my family. Bye. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't under like they give us this one moment where they pull up to the reunion where she's like, just so you know, I didn't come for him. I came for Uncle Marco. Yeah. So that segment starts with what is we can now realize one of the worst songs ever to be a 90 Day Fiance. And listen, I'm not gonna say this. I'm not gonna say these people are professionals, and definitely they can't either. This is part of Gino's family, and let me tell you that the reunion always has live music, and it's supposed to be great. And he calls this Italian music, and you can listen and you tell me what this is, okay? You tell me if this is Italian music.
Down south.
Down south.
Imagine little Gino without a hat, and Jasmine came from down south.
I'm gonna assume that it was improv on the spot.
They didn't even okay, if the beat is bow, bow, na, 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 bow,
it is
bow,
the beat.
Bow,
yeah, that is the
bow,
beat.
Bow, na, na, na. Okay, so then the lyric is like, you don't have to match that perfectly. So it's like bum, ba, na, 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 da, bum, bum, down south, yeah, down south. People don't think we're from, I don't know. People don't think we're from the South, but we are from the South of Italy, and we love something DDD. I don't know.
The DDD part was my favorite. Listen, they did them, and that's sort of country, and the lyrics are juvenile, and Juno was very into it, and
Juvenile.
They are like the rapper Juvenile.
Yeah,
and
back that ass up.
These two women don't perform a lot, and they decided to harmonize, and listen, it went on television, which is more than other people can say for their work. So all I'm gonna say is, am I a hater? Am I bitter? Am I telling it like it is? You tell me.
It sounded like, when Run DMC and Aerosmith did that collab in the 80s.
Yes. Walk This Way.
It was like,
Walk this way,
but not as good. Chalk this way.
Down south.
Yeah, down. It's like, I don't know. How could you have made it like but it's like, why down south? Like
down south, we are from Italy. People think it's Sicily, but it's Southern Italy, down south. I don't know.
Yeah, something like, it shouldn't even be Italy at all. It should just be Sicily. Just be like, yeah. And he's like, we're gonna listen to some Italian music. No, that's a lie. That is a false.
Frank Sinatra is rolling over in his grave. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dean Martin, Dean Martin's like, what are you talking about? I mean, there's a lot of other Italian, but come on.
Frank Sinatra is Italian? I missed that in my life. Okay.
Yeah, I can't die on that hill, but I can die on the Dean Martin hill being
okay.
Okay.
So he changed his name from like Martinico to like Martin. His last name is like Capuchulelli. That's his last name. It's like really Martino Capuchulelli, but he's like, I need the Americans to not judge me. So Martin's a good last name.
Well, that's probably true. Like a lot of Lebanese people change their name. Like I have a lot of Thomas as people in my last name whose last name is Thomas.
It's definitely not Thomas originally.
Thomas, I remember because it was Schwery.
Yeah.
Schwery. He was born in Ohio. This is Dean Martin. He was born Dino Paul Crosetti.
Yeah. Dino. Okay,
Paul
great.
Crosetti.
Great.
Crosetti in 1917 in Ohio, to an Italian father whose name was Gaetano Alfonso Crosetti, an Italian-American mother, Angela Crosetti. Gaetano, who, oh my God, who's a barber, and I mean, Jesus Christ.
I just finished watching Jersey Boys again, and I was like, again, he's still here for it.
I love, absolutely, a falsetto like that. Come on, Frankie Valli, come on. Yes, absolutely. You know what song I really love? I love their cover, the main version of Grease, from the movie.
Yeah.
It's so hot, right? The bass line is I know, it's like a groovy, funky bass, right? It's like very funk.
I would just listen to it because I just watched Jersey Boys, so I then listened to the song.
Grease is
the word. Yeah.
The word is the word that you heard.
It's got groove. It's got feeling.
It does have groove. It's
Grease
hot.
is the time. It's the place. It's the motion.
I won't harmonize. Down south. Down south. Okay. So,
let's move on. So basically, Gino and Jasmine are sitting down and they're eating. And I think Jasmine makes some sort of comment about, Gino having control of everything.
Yes.
And Michelle jumps in because Gino was like, not true. And Michelle's like, oh no, Gino, you don't have shit to do throughout the day. So what do you mean it's taking up your time to drive her back and forth to the gym? What else do you have to do? You don't work. You just play fantasy football. I said, if Michelle don't come through, snap, and Dana agreed. Everyone is like sitting around agreeing.
The hot
that,
guy
like,
was like, and the hot
Tony,
guy,
yeah. And Gino was like trying, was defend for his life. And then finally he's like, well, I don't want to sleep with her. And then everyone's like, okay, you don't have to tell us all of that. Like, that's not necessary. And Jasmine's just like, well, I didn't say it. And then he tries to blame her for it later on. And he had to say that because she had brought up, I guess, the fact that they were kind of arguing. And I was like,
but
no,
then
no.
She also blames him. She's like, I have to get mad at you because you gaslight. Like, they're both whatever. Like, remember, like, you can't hang your hat, and he doesn't. I mean, he always was wearing one anyway, so he would think it'd be him.
Could you imagine little Gino without a hat?
I know. What do you think about that? Like, this lyric, I was like, are you fucking what? What do you think about that? How about what do you think about that? Make a lyric, like with some fucking emotion and direction. I don't know. You make a statement.
So anyways, after that, they get to the house. She's had time to put in all manner of flower clips in her hair. Okay. She has put all the flower clips in her hair, and they are outside talking. And she's like, Gino, like, everything that happened and went down is because of you. And he's like, well, now you and she's like, well, Gino, the real problem is that you have a porn addiction, and that's why you can't have sex with me. And he's like, I don't have a porn addiction. Of course I watch porn because I don't want to have sex with my wife because she belittles me and makes it so that I can't get hard. But I don't have a sex addiction. And I'm like, what is he watching? What is he watching in his porn? I mean, and he must have so much shame behind it that he can't even get hard when he's with a regular woman. The shame.
I feel like Rob and Gino are just sexual deviants. We're just like hearing about like, like all their fetishes, all their like, kinks, all of their like sexual situations that they feel obviously shame for. It's like a very interesting theme of the episode. This is definitely happily ever after, like, which is,
yeah.
I mean, why don't they put a fucking question mark? Did they put a question mark?
I think
put
so.
A question mark. Okay, well, they really should be like, visually should be like, not happily ever after, period. I'm saying, like, let's just, okay.
Yeah. Speaking of not happily ever after, Ashley and Manuel.
Jesus.
So they go to the lawyer, and on the way there, Ashley's like, if you have a problem with something, you say I object. And I was like, no, this is not the judge. No. And he's like, I hold bleh. Like the way he says, it's like it is like Manuel has never heard the English language.
I object. It's just like
he has never heard the English language in his life. In fact, he barely speaks Spanish, it feels like. Because here's the deal. There are some words that are really hard to say in English versus Spanish. And I'm not saying that object is not one of those, but anytime she tries to tell him a phrase to say, he can never say it. It's like, it's always weird. It's always like, but it's still the same syllables sometimes.
But also understand her accent to him is so other. And as like, so he has to like hear what this person's saying and then play it over in his mind and then be like, what is her weird accent doing? And then try and say it. And then, like he gets one or two notes. But I mean, they go to this place. He has a translator, thank God. And they have this like lawyer there that's like, this is a dime a dozen, and I just like don't really want to be here at all. Like my energy is get me the fuck out of here. I'm not into this. So they sit down talking about a post-nup. And basically, we find out that she, of course, feels like there's a possibility that he will take all her money if they were to break up. And so the post-nup is there to make sure that they can't do that. What's hers is hers before, and what's, his is his. And also as he takes that in, and as he talks about her spending habits, which are, as we know, too much for him, excluding from the fact that he has to send money home, he's also like, also gets to know from the lawyer that it's not just how much money they had before, but also like how much debt they had before. And he's like, oh,
Mhm.
good. Well, I have obviously nothing. And she's like, well, I have 3 master degrees. And we were like, you do? Oh, or 3 degrees? And
Mhm.
LOL, the worst part of it was like, you don't even use them. And she's like, I use all of them. I'm a businesswoman. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm dead for this. And what are her master degrees? By the way, she's looking fabulous, but we find out that has $100,000 in school loans debt, which she then goes on to say is not is not very different from a lot of other Americans, which she's right about.
A
So
100% correct. Except for those people in $100,000 debt, I would hope that the degree in which they got that skill would allow them to then make that money back. Now, I know there's plenty of people out there who do have $100,000 because whatever. But my thing is like, be a lawyer then, be a doctor then, be something that you will have a real opportunity to make that money back. I mean, to get that, like,
what are her 3 degrees in?
business administration. Let's just give her that one.
Okay.
Art,
Well, it's a huge field. That's like
fine
saying,
art.
okay, so like, is she a curator? Is she a painter?
Oh no, she's
Okay.
none of those things.
Okay.
She's art history, but like indigenous South American art history.
Okay. Very nuanced. Okay, good
Mhm.
for her. And then that's only 2 though. We know there's 3.
Her okay. The last one is like uh, what is the one where it's not pathology? It's the one where people, not archaeology. It's like this
Anthropology.
anthropology. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You went all over the map. I'm gonna say hers are like communications. Was she maybe got a BA in communications? That was her like
Mhm.
base level, and then maybe she got a like master's in psychology, and then
Oh, yeah,
and then maybe she
yeah.
got her like PhD in Bruja.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just like, I feel like
Yale.
anthropology because it's one of the ones that you can get a degree in, but like, what do you do for work with it? I think you have to get a master's in that to add on to it because scientific study of humanity. So within that, you would have to then drill down to like a very like is that all of humans? I don't know. But anyways, so the woman has debt and he just can't understand it. And I wish that they had more of a conversation about Americans and capitalism and the debt system that we have. Like, I wish that they had talked more about that, not just about her school debt, but just about the debt that an average American can be in because of life and because of just having a car or owning a home or having a credit card, those things. So that would have been more interesting, but he is flabbergasted. He doesn't know what to make of this. And he's like, please make that form. Now, the lawyer then is rude. I think the lawyer was looking for his 15 minutes of fame. And then by him saying, like, yeah, I'm not really a therapist. Like, I was like, sir, this is not the first time couples have sat in front of you and yelled at each other or argued or tried to get you to be on either side. This is not
Mm-hmm.
the first time. So don't try to shame these two for coming in here and having this conversation with you. Like, I think it was really important that he got a interpreter there so that they could have this conversation. And he's like, are you interpreting this correctly? When he said that to the interpreter, he's like, $100,000. And he's like, oh no, I'm not paying that back. So going ahead, let's draw up these papers.
Mm-hmm.
And but drawing up the papers is going to cost money too. So it's like, either way they go, they got to spend money.
You're absolutely right. By the way, I found Cherry Hill Seminary. You can get a master's in pagan studies.
Oh, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can get a master's in
In
religious
most,
studies without having it to be specific.
yeah, but it would be perfect for her.
Yeah. No, I get that. I knew somebody who got a degree in religion and they learned all of the religions. Like, they learned
Yeah,
about,
yeah. Well, also theology. I mean, if that's what theology is, right? I don't know.
I think theology is specifically Well, I thought theology was specifically Christianity. But the person I know who has their bachelor's in like religious whatever learned about like everybody's religion throughout her 4 years. Not every single religion in the world, but like Hinduism. She knows a lot about that. She knows a lot about the different
Mother
ones.
Earth, the cult of Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm. Love is one.
Can you? Yeah. Okay, so basically,
Kobe.
I wonder if they went home and fucked after that. That's all they say.
Probably,
Emily
yeah.
and Kobe. Now, this was an annoying segment.
Annoying, yeah,
because
unnecessary.
we got literally like a filler segment to just bridge a whole episode and have nothing happen. Nothing happen.
But a possible 2 women walking by, and one of them walking like she was an American on a mission. I mean, that the way that whole body and the things laid in the wig, I was like, oh. But she said, did she bring a friend? Did she bring a friend? And I was like, girl, you brought a friend. Like, this girl's not going to come to this meeting by herself.
Yeah, how horrible.
She went Kobe. That's terrible. So, anyways, there's that. Then that's it. That's the end of the episode.
I wish the woman would have come with a guy.
Angela and Michael. I don't know. But he was with that woman for 7 years. I would be pissed.
Yeah.
I was with you for 7 years. You went to China,
mm-hmm.
knocked a bitch up,
mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden have a whole new life with someone else in America? Mm-hmm. 7 years of my life?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need that showdown.
And you were like a prince. I thought I was going to like, make the Eru and have like, like literally like, you know how long she probably waited for that fucking ceremony to happen? She was like, I know him. You can bring your family over. I'll do the whole thing. I'll go get the palm oil. I'll tell you what my dad wants me to have, like Jesus.
Yep.
Anyway. Yeah, Angela and Michael, I don't know what to say.
I don't know either, but she is mad at him, obviously. Oh, yeah. And then she calls Skyla. And Skyla basically tells her that he's scamming. Skyla has never trusted Michael from the very beginning. She has kept her same feelings from the jump. And Skyla's basically like, well, mama, if he wanted to come with you, then he would come, mama. But the fact that he's not coming, mama, he don't love you. It's like crazy to me when I hear her speak.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. She's like, I know. And then he comes over and she's just like wearing this like wispy romper, she's just like a summer girl, she's just like romping around, honey, like it's like no underpants on. She's like, hi, Michael. Come in here.
Sit.
Sit. Michael, sit there. I've been drugged through the mud with you. And then after, like, then she doesn't like tell him to leave nor stay. Like, she's like mildly upset about the situation. He's like, look, Angie, we just have to. I'm tired of waiting, Michael. You just don't know. You don't understand, Michael. Now listen, sleep here. You're still my husband. Oh, like you're like. And then she goes, if you gotta piss, hang it out the door. If you gotta piss, hang it out the door. So basically, she doesn't kick him out. She's just like, sleep here and then pee out the door. And then I feel like the minute that the cameras leave, she's like, Michael, hi. Put your peenie through this door,
Come here, Michael. This is what you owe me for all the heartache and stress. You need to help me release some stress, Michael.
Oh,
and she's just smoking all in that house.
Yeah, every nail is a different nail, like from a different hand. Like none of them look like they're on one hand. I mean,
she was helping somebody do their acrylic training, and so she just like
she's one of those. Yeah, each one has. I mean, like some short, some short and square, some long and pink, like a rigmarole of nails. That's it.
That's it, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had fun. We did. So if you guys want to support us and you're like, want more, you can join us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. You get a live every first Monday of the month, as well as other goodies. So join us there on patreon.com/DocuSweeties. But if you can't, Chris will tell you another way to support us. Chris?
Oh, yeah. Just go in and support us on the social medias, the internet, if you will. Have you heard of it? Anyway, we are at DocuSweeties on Instagram at DocuSweeties, on TikTok at DocuSweeties1 on X. We have a Facebook group, the DocuSweeties Podcast Facebook group, and we're on YouTube. So at DocuSweeties on YouTube, if you haven't yet given us 5 stars, I consider doing it. We have so much more coming, a lot. So, I mean, so much. I can't even just... Love in Paradise, UK. I mean, The Other Way just dropped their trailer tonight, which I stared at for a long time. And we're
July
giving you...
1st.
I know,
Jesus
we're giving you
Lord.
2 docu-series right now, Ashley Madison and The Jinx. So a lot coming. Thank you so much, though, for being a part of it. And we'll talk to you later, okay?
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.